Morning, everybody. How is everyone this morning?
Sleepy.
Are there any questions? No questions.
I have one, probably a feedback from you. I've struggled with this CRBS.
Louder.
I struggle with this CRBS when you talk about scanning the mind. You talk about, yesterday you talked about not to discriminate, not to seeing the whole picture, not being attached to certain objects. I had this experience this morning. We were walking on a trail this morning. I found myself just looking at those different trees that we have, like licorice fern and woodpecker habitat, things like that. As on my way back, I was I was looking out on the top, when I was bluff, and look across. I say, I don't see licorice fern, I don't see any trees, I just see the forest. I see the whole pictures. And then I look at the reflection of the water. I look at the trees, everything's in it. And I also see that if I walk close to the water, I'll see myself. So I'm kind of thinking, okay, I'm part of this nature. My mind was still racing, I apologize. Then I say that, okay. Then I say, well, and then I look at the trees again and say, well, when I breathe out carbon dioxide, which give to the tree. The trees give oxygen, which give to us. So it's a kind of symbiotic, synergistic relationship. So I'm part of him, he's part of me. When I came back, I started doing this body scan. I kind of got a touch. Maybe this is what you're talking about. Because yesterday you talked about knowing it and experiencing it, right? There's a little universe in me it's a contained part of the big universe. But then when I finished my body scan, I realized, who cares? I use different language. I just say, who F cares, right?
The last part?
Yeah, who cares, right? When I finish my body scan, because I feel like maybe this is part of because I've been lots of things happening in this retreat. Maybe I've been sucking too much oxygenated air or counting too many numbers. Because all these thoughts, all the experiences doesn't really matter. It comes down to return to the methods, right?
Comes down to what?
To the returning to the methods. But I still struggle with it because as soon as I put down that thoughts, when I do the thoughts about I'm part of this grand universe, right? This grand version of who I am. When I do the body scan, I struggle with it too, because I cannot find my mind again. So my question is, how can I free feel my mind? How can I really scan this big body and mind that you talk about? It's a very loaded question.
Just relax. Everybody. In our practice, we keep returning to the method. Returning to the method is very important. And in this case, we return to our body. Returning means coming back. Very often we are lost. Most people are lost. They are lost in many sense. They are lost when they do not know what choices to make. They are lost when they have no directions. They are lost when they do not know what's going on. So why are people lost? Well, people are lost because they are not grounded. It's like in China, there is a type of plants and aquatic plants. What do you call it? In Chinese, it's called fu ping. Fu ping, you have that in Canada, like a type of duckweed, duckweed, like a type of weed that flows. I do not know whether you have that in Canada. So it's an aquatic plant that has a root, but it doesn't take root in the soil. So wherever the tide goes, wherever the current is, it just goes. It just goes with that. And sometimes in Chan we use this analogy that a lot of people are lost. Like in the ocean. In the ocean, and you just do not know where you are lost. And very often, life is like traveling in the ocean. Sometimes you have very nice weather, beautiful weather. Sometimes there is storm, hurricanes, tornado. You experience hurricane and tornadoes, cyclones on the ocean, thunderstorm, waves crashing down, then a shipwreck. So the sunken ship, or sometimes you encounter pirates of the Caribbean. Then you have to run for your life. Pirates are coming after you. Or your boat becomes sunken ship. And what do? Then you have to stay afloat. Staying afloat. And sometimes the practice can be like that. In fact, a sitting, it can be a small. It can be what we call condensation of life experience. Sometimes it seems like you're going to drown. When you drown in all these wandering and scattered thoughts. Sometimes it seems like all these emotions become overwhelming. You're going to drown. Help me, help me. How to stay afloat? Staying afloat is one thing, and the next you have to look for the shore. Going on to the shore, and then going on to a dry land. And that is important. So how do we stay afloat? How do we stay afloat? We need something to help us. And how not to get lost and to be grounded. You want to reach the ground. So to be grounded, how do you find ground? That is to return to the method. To return to the practice. We return to the method. We return to the practice. So that first to stabilize ourselves. To ground ourselves. Or to stay afloat. There's something that we can hang on. Sometimes when you ask someone to wait, you say, hang on, hang on. You use that expression in Canada?
Yeah.
And hang on, let me take care of something first. So hang on. So what is it that you hang on to? What is it that you hang on to? Why in life, for most people, they hang on to different things. When the child is young, the child will hang on to the parents, mommy, daddy, Anything happen, you go behind your parents. Or you grab the skirt. You grab the trousers, So you go behind them. Hang on to your parents when you're young. And as you grow older, perhaps you depend on yourself. You hang on to yourself. Or there are others who give you support, like your friends. Or then maybe later on you hang on to what? Knowledge, power, status, authority, relationships. These are the things that we hang on to. All these are what we call the center of our lives. What is the center of your life? What is it that your life centers around? When we are young, maybe as a kid, your life centers around what? Your parents, your childhood friends, your playmates, not going to kindergarten, nursery schools. And as we grow up, our center changes. But are these things reliable? From the perspective of Chan and Buddhism, they are reliable, but not totally reliable. Not totally reliable. One day the Buddha gave a story of this rich man that has 4 wives. Have you heard this story before? So in this story, in India, the people can have a lot of wives. They don't practice. It's not a monogamous society. So this wealthy man, he has 4 wives, and then on his deathbed, he's dying, and then he's about to go. And then he asks his youngest wife, to come. Say, I treated you so well, You are the youngest, I dote on you so much, I take care of you. I give you the most expensive clothing, the best jewelry, the best house, the best mansion. Now I'm going to die. Will you go with me? And then the youngest wife said, no way. The youngest wife said, no way. She said, I will remarry. I'll get a younger man. I'll get a richer man. So the old man was very, very sad. Then after that, he asked the 3rd wife. She said, the youngest wife doesn't want to go with me. I treated you well too. Will you go with me? And the 3rd wife said, sorry, I can't. I've already found someone. So the old man is very sad. Then he went to the 2nd wife. And he said, my 4th wife, the youngest, doesn't want to go. The 3rd one doesn't want to go with me. And how about you? I've been nice to you too. And then we had good times, good memories together. And we spent some good years together, golden years together. Will you want to go with me? The 2nd wife said, I'm sorry. Someone is really after me. So the old man is very sad. Then left the 1st wife. He looks at the 1st wife. Then he said, the 3 of them don't want to go with me. And then the 1st wife said, well, I've been with you from the beginning. Even though you change your mind, you look for the 2nd, you look for the 3rd, you look for the 4th, you're bored with me, you don't like me, you got tired of me, but I'm your first love, and I can go with you. So what is the moral of the story? Anyone guess?
Don't remarry.
Don't remarry. Stay faithful to your 1st wife. The 4th wife is like friends. friends. Very often we feel that we are close to our friends, we think they are the best. Yes, friends are people that we can look for support. But however, at the end of the day, when you finish clubbing, you finish partying, what happens? Everyone has to go home. And they can come with you, A lot of friends, they will share your joy, but not many will share your sorrow. And also, there's always a saying, a friend in need is a friend indeed. But friends are very hard to come by. We have a lot of partying friends. Yeah. Yeah, so you. These are partying friends. But how many friends are really good friends? At the end of the day, when your problems, not many will come. So, at the end of the day, they go looking for someone else. Yeah? They go away looking for people to play with. And they will say next better player. So if you're that bad, your friends cannot follow you. Your friends will probably come say hi, goodbye, hello and goodbye. And they'll go off, looking for other people. And then your material wealth is like a third wife. The third wife. When it's time to go, at the end of the day, you have to leave all this thing behind. And all this wealth actually is not yours. You already got remarried. You already belong to someone else. You already got someone. And then the second wife, what do you think about the second wife? Your status, your authority, your influence, when you die, when you go, your knowledge, all these non-material things, someone will go after them. So the second wife, someone is chasing after her. Third wife already got someone, the fourth wife is going to look for someone, the second wife, someone is seeing someone. So that's what happened. And what is your first wife? The first wife is our body, our mind, our practice. And that is what that will go with us. And that is what is always faithful, loyal to us. But very often we detest this body. We do not want to return to this body. Why is that so? And when you feel your head, think to yourself, why is my head so big? You feel your eyes, why is my eyes so bulging? Feel your nose, why do I have such a big, blunt nose? I used to think that my eyes are really big, like a goldfish. And then I have very fat, blunt, snub nose, not really good looking. And I have very big mouth, very thick lips. So not very nice. So that's why sometimes we have, I joke, big eyes that doesn't look alive. In Chinese, the expression is funnier in Chinese. 眼大无神, 鼻大西城. So when you translate into English, maybe I used to joke about it, saying that the eyes are big eyes, but don't look alike. And the big nose, then you can suck up dust. Because big nostril, so you suck in more dust. Sometimes we feel that about ourselves, why are you born so pretty and handsome, whereas I'm born so unpresentable? Why am I so short? Why am I not tall enough? We may not like the body. We may not like the body. However, the practice is that we keep coming back to the body. We have overlooked or forgotten how the body has been loyal to us. The body has been there supporting us, helping us. Without the body, we would have died, just like the first wife. Moreover, very often, we look at the body in a way which is not very positive. Practice is about transforming. So, big mouth, thick lips. This took time. And how do you go about that? To relax yourself. Then when you relax, you start to return. You return, you relax. And then after that, you can actually make new discovery. When you are aware. Because very often, we are not aware. And when we are not aware, or our awareness is limited, then we become limited. We are limited by our awareness. And practice is about opening up our awareness. When you open up your awareness, you open up yourself to new discoveries, or even insights. In Buddhism, we always use the word insights. You make discovery, you have insights. You may not have noticed certain things that went unnoticed in the past. So you may notice new things, you discover new things, you see new things, you hear new things, you feel new things. So thick lips. And some people were commenting that, wow, the lips are actually quite sexy. There's a movie star, Angelina Jolie. Yeah. Someone did comment that before, no, it's not me. So that's why there's always this saying, beauty lies in the eye of the what? Beholder. What is beauty? Can you tell me what is beautiful? Maybe I pass a piece of paper around to all 40 of you. Like me, what is a beautiful man or a beautiful woman? What does it mean to be gorgeous, beautiful, handsome, attractive? So after an hour later, I collect back all the papers. And I have 40 different answers. Then, in this case, what do we understand from this? As I said, beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. It's not an object. There is no standard fixed definition of what is beautiful, pretty, or handsome. So this is something that later on we realize that it is a matter of the transformation of the mind. I always use this story about the young novice monk and the old lady. Some of you may have heard the story. There's this, in China, there's this city monastery, or the city temple. So in the city, the houses are lined next to one another. Because usually in the city, in ancient China, there's only a few roads. So some people are neighbors to a monastery. And there's this novice monk, and his job is to sweep the floor every day. After breakfast, after lunch, after dinner, he will sweep the floor. And then there's this old lady, the next door neighbor, and she usually sit outside, at the doorstep, That's very much China. In China, people, they like to sit outdoor, enjoy the sun, and just talk to neighbors. So it was actually near winter. Just like Vancouver, in winter you have a lot of rain. So it's raining, and what happened was that then this novice monk cried. Okay, whenever it was the start of rainy season, so she cried. Cried days after days after days. And he was curious. He said, old lady, old madam, why are you crying? No, it seems like something happening. You've been crying for days since it started raining. Because the novice monk just came in. So then he said, then the old lady said, young monk, you know why I'm crying? Because I have a son. He's in the laundry business. Laundry business? Yeah. Back in those days, they do not have electric dryer or iron. So he said he's in the laundry business, and it has been raining for days. So if it rains, there's no sun, then his business will be bad. Why? Because he has orders, and then the clothes that he wash cannot dry. That's why I worry about him. As a result, I'm crying. Okay. That's what happened. Then the next day, the sun came out. And the young man was actually quite excited to go out to sweep the floor to see the old lady. Then again, he saw her crying, and he couldn't understand. Then he went to her and asked, "Why are you crying again, old madam?" And the lady said, "Young master, you do not know. I have another son. He's in the umbrella business." So he sells umbrella. And when will people use umbrella? When it's raining. So today has been sunny, and I heard the weather forecast that the next 7 days will be sunny. So then his umbrellas will not be selling. So what will he live on? And as a result, she started crying. Then the young man touched his head and scratched his head. The young monk. He said, "Oh madam, why don't you think in this way? On a rainy day, the son that is doing the umbrella business will have good business. And on a sunny day, the son that is doing the laundry business will have good business." And the old lady looked at him. "Really? Are you sure?" And I said, "Yeah, why not try thinking in that way?" And he said, "Okay, I'll try." So she started doing that. And from then onwards, she smiled every day. Whether is it sunny or whether is it raining. If not, she always cry. She cried every day. From then onwards, she smiled every day. So have the weather changed? The weather has not changed. Has the sun changed the profession? Not. But what has changed? Her mind. The way she thinks, the way she perceives. So that is what the practice is all about. Has the world changed for the old lady? Yes, I know. The weather has not changed, the sun has not changed, it's still staying at her place. It seems not to have changed, but in reality, the whole meaning of the world has changed. Her whole life has changed. She still sits outside, every day. The routine has not changed, but in a way her life has changed because the quality has changed. And that is practice. Has she added anything? Has she subtracted anything? Did she try to remove anything from her life? Or did she try to add anything to her life? No. That's why in Chan or in Buddhism, whenever we recite the Heart Sutra, we say what? No addition, no subtraction. You don't add anything, you don't subtract anything. But very often in our practice, we think that, sometimes some people they come to Buddhism, they try to practice and they think that, okay, I want to depart from suffering, I want to remove suffering, I want to attain happiness, I want to achieve liberation. So I want to remove defilements, I want to eliminate suffering, and then I want to attain liberation, I want to achieve awakening. So there seems to be two things. So on one hand we reject, we try to throw away. And on the other hand we run after, we chase. Very often life is like that. We try to remove the negative, eliminate that, run away from it, reject it. Then positive things, good things, happiness, suffering. You don't want suffering, throw away your suffering. And then what is it? You go after happiness. There seems to be two things. Suffering and happiness seems to be two poles. Two different extremes, two different things. But from a perspective of Chan, or from a perspective of a practitioner of Buddhism, they are not two different things. They are the same thing. Just like the old lady. She has not added anything, she has not subtracted anything. She just worked with what we call the same substance. Okay, and if you look in terms of science, or maybe here every day you finish the meal, we have what we call the compost. Compost? Well, and then what do you do with compost? Compost can be like garbage. But then what do you do with compost? Recycle. Recycling. Then they act as fertilizer. And at the end of the day, they bear what? Beautiful succulent fruits that are nutritious and they nurture us. So what are garbage? Do we have garbage? There's no garbage. So in terms of physics, we look, the law of conservation of energy. What does the law of conservation of energy say? Energy is neither created nor destroyed. It merely exists in different forms. So this is called biomass conversion. Biomass conversion. And that is what the practice is about. Okay. So when you're wondering and scattered thoughts, do not try to measure your practice by whether you are feeling comfortable or uncomfortable. Okay. Try not to sort of go into the trap, catch 32, is it called catch 32?
Catch 22.
Catch 20?
22.
22. So we added 10 more. So do not fall into the trap, Do not try to materialize your practice. Just like the word beauty. Beauty is something which is not a material thing. But nowadays we become so materialistic. That we materialize beauty. What is beautiful? So similarly, when we come back, we realize that. That is why in Chan we say vexations is precisely what? Bodhi. Defilements are precisely awakening. So if you don't want all the negative things, at the end of the day you throw away the negative things and you throw away the positive as well. Why is that so? Because positive and negative, they're actually the same substance. It's like you throw away the compost, you throw away the fertilizer. What does soil make up of? Soil make up of all these things. You throw away the compost, you throw away the fertilizer, then will you have any fruits? No fruits, no vegetables, no food. So that's what it means. So coming back to the body, returning to the practice, we have this realization. And then from there we start to know, to understand at a deeper level. We start to come to terms, and we start to touch the body, to feel the body, to connect to the body. What is the body made up of? The body is made up of non-body material. Or the self. Who is the self, the true self? Buddhism, we talk about non-self. What does that mean? Some people, when they hear no self or non-self, they're scary. They seem like the self disappear. What does it mean when we say no self? Doesn't mean it's not nothingness. A lot of people think non-self when we say emptiness. Emptiness is not nothingness. Yeah. Emptiness is another expression of no self. No self doesn't mean that the self no longer exists. That's not the case. When we say no self, it means that this self is made up of non-self material. What does that mean? Just like this painting. What is the painting made up of? The painting is made of non-painting material. This paper is made of non-paper material. What does that mean? So non-self, in this case, we can substitute that with other things like paper, non-paper material. What is this paper made up of? Where does the paper come from?
Trees.
Come from the trees. Is the tree the same as paper? No. And what is the tree made up of? Where does the tree come from? From the earth. The soil, the rain, the air, the wind. So this paper is actually made up of what? The sun, the rivers, the clouds, the great earth. The ink, where does the ink come from? The ink is made of non-ink material. What is ink made of? Anyone tell me? Charcoal. Charcoal. Where does charcoal come from? From the wood. Okay, so this is also made of fire. Can you see the fire element? Can you see the wood element? Can you see the water element? And that's what we call non-self. The paper is made of non-paper element. So similarly, the self is made of non-self element. So we are made out of what? Where is the self? So when you return to the body, you connect to the body, you connect to the self. Then you have a deeper understanding of the self. Who am I? And not only you connect to yourself, then you realize that you are non-self. As a result, you connect to those non-self elements. You connect yourself to the trees, to the earth, to the sun, to the moon, to the stars. And then you realize that you are actually made up of the entire universe. And not only that, we are made up of what? Then from there, not only we see ourselves, but we see everything else. We see in us everything, and we see in everything us. So in everything else, there is the self. We then become connected. We connect to ourselves and we connect to others. And then you also realize that actually we are not individual. We are never separated. We are never segregated. We are never lonely. We are never alone. We are always together with everything else. And not only that, we also connect to our parents, to our ancestors. Do we see that lineage of humanity coming down? Not only do we connect to the external environment, but we connect to the whole humanity. Do we experience that connected kinship? And that is the practice. And when that happens, you actually open up. Your hearts open up, your mind open up. And then you realize that perhaps there are certain things in you which are not so good. But that's not the self. Maybe there are certain behavior, certain emotions, or certain experiences, and you hate that because you think that that is the self. In fact, that is not the self. Why? Because you realize that, in fact, a lot of things were inherited. We inherited a lot of sufferings, generations of the generations of the generations. We inherited a lot of things which doesn't sound so positive, or which may be negative. And when we realize that all these negative things is actually not me, or rather it is merely an inheritance, something which was passed down to what we are today. Sometimes people will come to me, they feel that, or we have this very common experience. You encounter in a relationship, maybe the partner is very cold, very harsh. Can be a friend, or can be somebody, not in your interaction. This person seems to be very cold and very harsh, and that person doesn't seem to be very loving. When I experience that, the coldness from other people, what happens? And we become cold. Or that person that is angry, the person perhaps use angry words, the person use angry speech, angry action, which may be abusive. And then what happened to us? Maybe in the beginning we become hurt, after that we become angry. So a lot of things is actually what get passed on, or I say infected. A lot of things, emotions, behaviors are infectious. We get infected by all this, and then what happens? It stays inside us, and then we get sick. And then we think that I'm sick, that I'm not good. However, this is not the problem with the self. Naturally, originally, we are not that. It's merely an infection. So in this case, naturally we are healthy. So as a result, it's just like water. Why is it that we can purify water? When water is contaminated, it's dirty, why is it that we can purify it? The reason for us being able to purify water is because the nature of water is pure. Do you understand what I'm saying? Go study chemistry. Because the nature is pure, when it is contaminated, we can purify it. And in Buddhism, we say that there is the Buddha nature. We have that pure nature in us, but temporarily what? Contaminated. So, when someone do something wrong, very often when a person expresses anger, and then immediately we will identify that person as an angry person. When someone did something stupid, we will say that is a stupid person. So sometimes in our daily life, we actually act in this mode. We say, oh, you're stupid. Oh, you're stupid. or oh you're bad, you're nasty, you're evil. However, if we understand from the perspective of practice, just like water, or perspective of Buddhahood from Buddhism, from perspective of Chan, there is no evil person in this world. There's no stupid person in this world. There's no nasty person in this world. But there are people who did nasty things. There are people who do stupid things. There are good people who did evil things. Why? Because they were contaminated. Just like water. The nature is good. So next time when someone, so in a relationship that is the same too. If we're able to understand that this person is not a bad person, but rather he or she did something bad. It's different. When someone did a bad thing, our understanding compared to this is a bad person. So similarly like the child, if a child did something stupid, then we will not scold the child, oh you stupid. We will say, oh, don't do such a stupid thing. So what happens to the child? The child will no longer be stupid. In our eyes, the child is not stupid, but rather the child did something stupid. So this is how we perceive and we see. So similarly, someone that is cold, that is harsh, we understand that person perhaps, why is someone not gentle? Why is someone not loving? Well, if you look back, perhaps that person has never experienced love. That person has never experienced warmth. That person has never experienced gentleness and tenderness. So maybe in the whole growing process, the whole life of that person, he or she doesn't know what is it to be warm. Because maybe he or she has never experienced any warmth before. He or she may not have experienced any love before. Maybe her parents, her friends, her environment, his or her environment. She has never experienced that. So for a person who has never experienced love and warmth, how can that person be warm and loving? That's not possible. So very often we only see things from appearances. And that is why in our practice, we need to go deeper to connect, to understand. So maybe that person was always subjected to an angry, harsh, cold, living environment. And that person learned from who? Learned from the parents. And where does the parents learn from? Where does the parent got it from? Parent got it from the grandparents. And this is called the inheritance of the suffering. Very often we inherited a lot of things. Is it our fault? It is not our fault. Is it the fault of our parents? It's not the fault of our parents. And is it the fault of our grandparents? No, it's not the fault of our grandparents. Things just get passed on. And when we come to our practice, we have this awareness and realization. So when it comes to us, what happens? We transform. We stop the vicious cycle. Why? Because we know that emotions are emotions, thoughts are thoughts. They are not the true self. Just like the person that expresses angry behavior, that is not an angry person, but rather a person with angry thoughts, a person with angry behavior, like water that is contaminated. But then we see hope. Then we can change. Then we can transform. So return to your body. And then connect to your body. And then connect to everything else. Then we start to open. So only when we start to open, we start to communicate. communication. Then we start to listen to our body. We start to see our body, we start to feel our body. So how can we connect? How can we relate to one another? How can we communicate if we do not connect and we are not open? So you start off with practice first, coming back to the self. Then from there, you open up to life. And then you start to listen to others. You start to see others. You start to understand others. Starting from touching the body, doing the relaxation of the skin. Then we start to understand, we start to see. And then you will say, Eureka. Eureka? What is Eureka? What does that mean? Discovery. So we have a discovery can. So in this case, then that is a practice. It's difficult in the beginning. Why? Because we are not familiar with that. So we need to practice again and again and again and again. And every time it gets a bit uncomfortable, what do you do? Okay, and then hang on to what? Hang on to the practice. Okay, track and then what? You feel tension, what do you do? Tension, and you release. And then slowly, gradually, you open up. Okay. And that is a practice. So when we practice, very often we think that, why do we need to meditate? Why do we need to practice? Why do we come back to the present moment? Seems so stupid. Just sit there and do nothing. Very often there's this expression, don't sit there and do something. Right? You always say, don't sit there and do something. Well, this is the normal human, the way that society functions. But actually we need to sit. Sitting is important. We should don't do something. Sit. We should change this around. Why is it that we need to sit? When do people sit? Sitting is actually very important. When is the time that you sit? When a person is sad, do you stand crying? When you cry, what happens to you? You want to sit down. Why is it that you want to sit down? Do anyone walk around crying all day, weeping? Or we stand crying loudly? No, what happens? As you cry, then gradually what happens to you? You sit down. Why is it that you want to sit? To ground yourself, to find that stability. When you meet your friends, well, maybe we go around with a bottle of beer, cheers, we hang around, walk around, yes, we do that. But after a while, when you want to have an in-depth conversation with your friend, when you talk heart to heart, what do? Sit down. When you want to connect, when you want to communicate, when you want to become close, you sit down. So when you're tired, what do? Take a rest by sitting down. When you see the beautiful scenery, what will you do? Stand there? What will you do? When you want to enjoy, when you want to appreciate, when you go to the museum, the gallery, when you go out to the outdoor, to the countryside, you see beautiful things and you want to appreciate them. Whether is it a piece of art, whether is it good scenery, what do? You sit down. And so today you can appreciate the 3 pieces of art. And when you want to do art, you want to draw, you want to write, what what do? You sit down. You want to write a diary. When you want to write a love letter, nowadays people don't write love letter anymore. They text, yes. But when you text, what do? It's best that you sit down. Only when you settle yourself, you sit down, you settle, then you're in the right frame of mind. So sitting is actually a part of our mind. Okay, when we want to ponder, we want to think deeper, you sit down. So sitting is important. Okay. Whether we want to be better, or we want to recover, or we want to rejuvenate, or when you want to say sorry to someone, what will you do? You ask that person to sit down, and you see eye to eye, and you apologize. You want to make up to someone, you sit down. Okay, so sitting is a part of our life, and that is why we sit in a retreat, to transform ourselves, to get in touch with ourselves and connect with others, to experience that intimacy, that connectedness, connect to the great earth and connect to all life. That is why we sit. And then coming back to the present moment is important. To be fully present. Then we make sense of what is our life all about. But that doesn't mean that we do not think about the future or do not think about the past. We learn from the past. We plan for the future. But very often, a lot of us keep staying in the future. As a result, we become unrealistic. Why? Because we don't touch ground. How do we fulfill our dreams of the future, our aspiration? You know, some people, Buddhists, or they learn Buddhism, they have this misconception. They think that after you become a Buddhist, Buddhism always say dukkha, 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 dukkha. Dukkha, we talk about suffering. The first noble truth of life, suffering. Man, so grey, pessimistic. What does it mean, dukkha? Suffering is not a very good translation of the word dukkha. What is dukkha? From the perspective, it has different meaning at different level. Dukkha, from a certain perspective, it means what? Not suffering. Suffering is a very lousy word. I don't usually use suffering. For me, what is dukkha? Dukkha actually means out of touch. Out of touch. Out of place. So we always have to kit, K-I-T. They use expression in America, in Canada.
K-I-D or K-I-T?
K-I-T.
Kit?
Kit, kit. You must always have a kit.
Oh.
Kit, what is kit? Kit is what is a kit? It can be any kit, right?
Toolbox, small toolbox.
Toolbox. But for us in Asia, that's a Chan word. I always say, have a kit. What does that mean? In short, it means keep in touch. We must always keep in touch. That's life. Are we in touch with one another? When we are not in touch, we're out of touch, what happens? Then we feel out of place. What happens when you feel out of place? You don't feel good. And you feel out of place, you feel lonely, you feel all this negativity will come up when you're out of place. What does it mean when you're out of place? When you're not playing. In your practice, in your life, in everything, when you're out of touch, you're lost. When you're out of place, you cannot function. Malfunctioning. You cannot relate, you cannot interact, you cannot live. So dukkha means out of touch. And that's why we have to keep touching. That is the practice. Touch ground when you walk. Touch a cushion when you sit. Touch your cup. Really touch your cup when you drink. Really feel your food, touch your food when you eat. That is a practice. So some people, they think that Buddhism always talk about dukkha, suffering. So as a result, it seems like we shouldn't be ambitious. We should live a simple life, like a retreat, Life should be like that. That's why young people do not want to learn Buddhism. Because they are full of dreams, they are full of aspiration, They want to be rich, famous, and powerful. There's nothing wrong with that, There's nothing wrong with that, to have dreams and aspiration. So, a lot of people, they have this misunderstanding. They think that Buddhism is only for those who are old, aged, retirement, something to do, after you retire, nothing else to do, you come and that's what you do, That's not the case, However, retreats, we have different people, So usually I try not to mix a different age group in retreats because we teach them differently. In Taiwan, we have youth retreats, So adults retreat, we talk about different things, adult talk. When in a youth retreat, we talk about different things for the youth. But Chan is still applicable. Why? Because Chan is about having more understanding. Chan is about, I think, and some people ask what is Chan. Chan is about happiness. In fact, we all want to be happy. Buddhism is about happiness. But what is happiness? That is a big question. I cannot tell you what is happiness. I have no answer, like what I said in the first day of the retreat. But I can teach you the skill to look for happiness. Because happiness is different for everyone. The Chan of Buddhism doesn't tell you what is happiness. But Buddhism tells you how to be in touch, how to connect, how to be aware, and how to understand. And then at the end of the day, you can find your own happiness. Because everyone has their own unique, different happiness. So Buddhism doesn't give you the answer to happiness. Buddhism doesn't give you the answer to definition. Or rather, it gives you the tool or the kit, the toolbox, the key to happiness. What is the key? The method, practice. Then you can find happiness. And so if you come for answer, sorry, wrong place, somewhere else. I don't give answer, but I give you the key. And what is the key? Okay. Now you're only at level 2. To complete the curriculum, you need to go up to level 8. So basically that's what Chan is about. Okay. So when we are more in the choices, sometimes in life we don't know how to make choices. Why is that so? We are lost. Or we make choices which later we will regret. Well, the bottom line is because we do not understand ourselves fully. And so when we make choices, sometimes we don't know how to make choices. So then we go out, we gather a handful of rocks. Should I not? Should I not? Or you pluck leaves. Should I not? Should I marry this person or should I not? Those sort of things we make fun of it. Yeah, but sometimes we are so lost. Why is it that we are lost? We do not know what course to choose, which person to get married, how many children to have, etc. etc. A lot of choices that we make in our life. Sometimes we do not know what to do. Then we ask our friends. So we ask our people, we ask around. Yeah, asking around is good, but at the end of the day, they are not you. So sometimes people come to me for advice. I will tell them, I cannot advise you because I am not you. How can I advise you when I'm not you? Unless I really understand you, I really know you, then I can give you advice. What does that mean? We are lost, do not know what choice to make, is because we do not really understand ourselves. When we understand ourselves fully, then we will know what is suitable for us, what is not suitable for us. Then we know our weaknesses, we know our strength. And we know our weaknesses and our strength, then we'll be able to choose things that is suitable for us, make decisions that are suitable for us. If you know yourself, with this basic understanding and awareness of the self, then you can apply the same self-awareness to understanding others, to be aware of others, to be aware of situation, to be aware of relationships. Then you will experience peace, experience harmony, you experience happiness. Yes. So the bottom line is, do we understand ourselves? Or we are also lost, so distracted. Distracted by the past, distracted by the future. Trying to be. Very often we try to be. We try to be what? Very seldom do we try to be our real self. But we try to be the self that others want us to be. Our parents, our friends, our society. And then in the end, you don't know who you are. So Chan is to find yourself and to be your real self. However, that need practice. And that need time. That need patience. Okay. So we embark on a journey. And we need to come back to the matter. So I have been talking about the relaxation body scan, which is cycling. So you do that in cycle. First cycle, 1 second. Second cycle, 2 seconds. Third cycle, 3 seconds. Different parts. From the brain by not thinking of anything, to the eyes, your nose, your mouth, up to your toes. Then your entire body. And after that, the mind. And your body and your mind. So body and mind. So as we practice this, what happens? We connect to our body, we come back to our body, return to our body. So body and mind will become together. Okay. Very often the mind and the body are separated. Body is doing one thing, the mind is engaging in another. That's why we have experiences of falling down the stairs, dropping into drains, knocking into lampposts. Why? Because body and mind are not together. So in this case, the body and mind has to be together. If we want to excel, we want to achieve, we want to be successful, body and mind must always be together. This is a practice, this is an art. Like drawing, calligraphy. Life is like an art. Practice is like an art. Any artists here? Okay, good. See a lot of finger pointing over. Okay, we are all artists. We are all artists. Why? Because the art of Chan, art of living. When I was learning calligraphy or even drawing, the first lesson in Chinese calligraphy or Chinese painting, what do? My teacher will give me an ink stick and an ink stone and a small cup of water. Off you go. Or he tell me put water into the ink stone, put the ink stick, keep rubbing, and then off you go. rub and rub and rub and rub. Hours and hours and hours. Okay? The first lesson, you come to a lesson to learn drawing or calligraphy. He doesn't even give you the paper or the brush. He just gives you, he just teach you doing this for hours, even weeks, and months. Why? Very often when I was learning, I was thinking, my goodness, there's something called ready-made ink. I was thinking to myself, because my teacher is quite old, he was about in his 80s. So I was thinking, which century is he from? Does he know that nowadays there's something called ready-made ink? So he made me, just do that for months, months, every day I will do that for months. So now I appreciate that. Why? Because it is a practice. It's not about doing that, but rather this is only the practice, the method, but what is behind that? The patience. So first lesson that I learned, I think in life, in everything, the first lesson is patience. That's why all students who come to me, they need to learn to be patient. Yes, patient. If you want to really learn from me, you have to be very patient. I'm sorry, it's like that. Okay, even now. Okay, but mind you, I have a long sleeve. A lot of things on my sleeve. My students always joke. You have a lot of things on your sleeve. I say yes, but you have to be patient. If you are not patient, you can never succeed. So I learned to be patient. So that is training. It's not about making ink. It's not about making ink, but with that few hours, you actually get maybe about 100 milliliter of good ink, 100 ml of ink, which if you did, that's in one brush. One brush you finish something you did for 1 hour. Not only you learn patience, second thing, you learn to cherish. You learn not to take for granted, because you see how difficult it is to get even very simple things in life. That's lesson 2. So the art of painting, the art of drawing. When you cherish, this is not easy to come by. That water, the ink stick and the ink stone. And then you learn that things come, according to the Buddhist teaching, dependent origination. Things does not arise from nowhere. Things doesn't come out by itself. For something which is very simple, a lot of causes and conditions has to come together. Yeah. So, nothing to be proud of. Sometimes we forget ourselves. We always think that we are somebody. But in reality, we are nobody. We think that, I'm a successful businessman, I'm a very professional accountant. I'm a very efficient lawyer. I'm a great artist. We always think that this art has this arrogance. But if we look back at our success, what attributed to our success? Not solely by ourselves. So many things has come together to nurture and support us to be what we are here today. Right? Without our parents, we'll not be here. Parents brought us up. Humans are the only animal that cannot survive on its own. If you look at the animal kingdom, newborn baby, left alone, what will happen to the baby? Die. The dogs, cats, horse, animals, when they are born, they can stand, they can run, they can defend themselves, but not humans. Humans, the moment they are born, they defenseless. They cannot do anything. So they have to be taken care of. They want to be slowly brought up. And when we go to school, Or you say, I study very hard in school. Yeah. But if you're the only, can you be the only student in school? Impossible. You have to be classmates, people to make up the school. If there's no teacher, no principal, is that possible? Not possible. If you have schools, yeah. But what if the society is unstable? Look at the Middle East now. You know, in Iran and Iraq. So many bright, beautiful kids, talented. And they have no opportunity to learn. They do not know whether the next moment the bomb will explode in their home, or whether when they're in the car, there will be an explosion. So society is peaceful. So there are so many things that come together for something very simple, which is even the self to accept. So then similarly, when you rub the ink, you learn to cherish. What is it? You are grateful. Gratitude. When was the last time you felt grateful? Is there gratitude in our hearts and our mind? We have taken so many things for granted. So, patience, cherishing, and gratitude. That's what I learned from the ink stain and the ink stone. Rubbing, rubbing. Just repeat the same thing. 1,000, 2,000. Rub and rub and rub and rub and rub and rub and rub. And then later on from there you discover further. Okay, that what? When you rub, you have to relax. I have to relax. You return to your body. You connect to your body. You connect to the ink stone. You connect to the ink stick. And you become one. In martial arts, you know, we always say becoming one with the sword. Have you heard that before? Man and sword become one. That's why in Chan is associated in the history of Chan. A lot of Chan masters, they are calligrapher, they are painter, or even martial artists. Why is that so? Because it shares the same ideology, principle. So it's not using your brutal strength, you know, just use that manual strength. It's about going with that flow. And then you relax into it. The more you relax, okay, the more you can what? You can rock. Then you return to your body. You come back to the present moment. If your mind is wander off, is scattered, what happened? You rub too much, the ink splashes. So you have to be in the moment. And then your mind wander off to the past or the future, what happened to you? You stop in daydream. Then you no longer rub the ink stone. You no longer rub the ink stick. Just coming back to the moment. It's all about Chan, it's Chan practice. My master who taught me calligraphy and painting, he's a Chan master. So this is a Chan practice. Chan practice. It's all in one session of rubbing the ink stick and the ink stone. Then you get angry, you get frustrated, you get impatient. When is the ink coming out? And that will make things worse. Then you feel tired, you feel exhausted. Then you don't give up. What do? You just keep returning, keep returning, keep returning, keep returning. And then you just relax. The more you relax, the more you can do it. And then after this becomes something which is enjoyable, you can connect. If you're angry, you throw the ink stick away. Then you cannot paint anymore, you cannot write anymore. Next is the brush. To hold the brush. To hold the brush is another art. To hold the brush is another art. When you start, it doesn't teach you how to write. You just only start with drawing lines. Lines after lines after lines after lines after lines. No, everywhere you go, you see lines. Horizontal line, vertical lines. It's like, oh. And then every line has to be the same. So art is not solely about the technique. Yes, technique. What about the technique? That behind the technique is practice. You just keep practicing and practicing and practicing. Practicing. And then at the end of the day, it's about being mindful and aware and attentive. When you use the brush, Chinese brushes are soft, very soft. So you cannot use too much force. Too much force, big bulk just spurts, and everything is smudged. Too little force, the paper doesn't absorb the ink. So force. Middle part, not too tight, not too loose. And then when you draw, cannot be too slow. You're too slow, the ink will come out all over. Too fast, the paper doesn't absorb the ink in time. So cannot be too fast, cannot be too slow. Cannot be too hard, cannot be too soft. Cannot be too tight. You hold too tight, what happened to the pen, the brush? It's break, that happened to me before. I hold the brush so tight, I crack. You cannot be too tight. So these are all practice, and this is something which we know. But are we clear? We are not clear until we do it, until we experience it. And that's what Chan is. And that is what art is about. So being clear is different from knowing. And in Chan, it's not about how much you know. It's about how clear you are. But a lot of people in life, they want to know more. They measure themselves, or they look at whether something is good or bad by knowing. The more you know, the better you are. This is the common ideology about things. But in Chan, in Buddhism, it's not about the more you know. The more you know doesn't mean that the better you are. It's about how clear you are about those things that you know. If you clearly know everything that you know, if you are clear about all the things you know, then you are an expert. Okay, so it's that. But that doesn't mean that Chan is anti-intellect. It's against knowing. No, some people have this misconception. They think that Chan is anti-intellect. No, Chan is not against intellectuality or knowledge or concept. In fact, the Chan canon in Tripitaka is the largest. The Chan master will ask the student, stop knowing. Why is that stop knowing? Because they know too much. And the biggest problem is they are not clear about what they know, because they do not experience what they know. And that is also about art. You can talk a lot about art, but at the end of the day, what is it? You must do it. So that is a practice too. That is a practice too. Okay, so it's important. So you draw. And later on, you relax. You have to relax your body when you draw. You have to connect to your body in order for you to relax. And you also have to relax palms, fingers, and even the pen. Then you sort of relax into the pen. You become one with the brush. And then things will flow. And the picture will come out. And that is what we call beautiful. So that is something which is a practice. So that's a practice. Okay. And this is something which is very beautiful. We can connect fully. Okay. And after you finish drawing, sometimes you're so amazed. Did I really draw that? Sometimes you get so angry. Did I really draw that? Then what happens? Just accept it. Just accept it. And then you can always draw again and again and again. Take it as a practice. And when you are drawing, you just draw. You're not rushing to complete the drawing. When you're writing, you just write. You're not rushing to complete the writing. But very often, most of us, when we are doing something, we are too task-oriented or goal-oriented. We want to achieve something. We want to achieve something. We want to finish something. And as a result, what happened? Then the process, the whole process, seems to be of less importance. But in art, in Chan, in practice, what is important? Not the goal. Not when you get at the end. The whole process and journey. That is important. When you're drawing, you just draw. And then, completion of the drawing is something which is natural. No need to worry about that. It will come. So, when you're walking, do not rush to reach the place. And when it's meal time, you keep thinking, I want to walk to the dining hall. I want to walk to the dining hall. As a result, you fix your whole mind on the dining hall. You keep thinking about the dining hall. As a result, you neglect the walking. And it's a pity. It's a pity. Then you lose out the whole journey to the dining hall. And that period become empty. So in life it's also like that. Then your life become empty. Blank. It is a blank. What happened between the dining hall and on the way? What happened between the Chan hall and the dining hall? That part. Blank. Nothing. Because I was rushing. I keep thinking about the dining hall. So this is like an analogy of life. Then your life has a lot of blanks. And then when you look back, I don't know, seems to be blank. The dining hall will come if you walk every step. Then every step will be full of stories, peace, relaxation, connectedness. You feel the ground, you feel your body, you feel peaceful, you feel relaxed. And then at the end of relaxation, you achieve what you want, your destination, you reach your destination. So similarly, today you touch and touch and touch and touch and touch. And then you may be thinking, when will my wandering and scattered thoughts ever go away? You know, when will I have less and wandering scattered thoughts? When will I feel more peaceful, more relaxed, you know? When will I be less drowsy? Then you get distracted. When you practice, you just practice. That's like when you go to the dining hall, you don't worry about the dining hall. You don't think when will you reach there, but rather you just take every step. Just take every step. So you'll arrive there. So when you're sitting, don't think about when will I be awakened? When will enlightenment come? I sit like that, really will I be awakened? What happened? Ask the Chan Master in the history of Chan. No Chan Master was thinking about awakening and enlightenment. They got awakening and enlightenment when they least expected it. In fact, some of the Chan Masters don't want to be awakened, but awakening keep chasing after them. Why? Because this is a natural process. So that is the case. The process is important. So keep coming back to the practice, and the rest of the things will be taken care of. Devote yourself fully into the present moment, and the future will be taken care of. You will arrive where you will arrive, and the practice will lead you there. So you have been touching yourself. Today, what happened is that if you have a better sense of the body already, you can stop touching. You can stop touching, you can just have a mental awareness. Is that clear? So at first you touch here, then you feel the sensation. Then after that, the sensation lasts. And then whenever you go back, you have that sense of that part again, this part. So then you can just do a mental scan. And so if you still cannot have a very good sense of that sensation, the awareness is not strong, and then you touch. So after you touch, some of you may have a sense of the body already, then you become the mind and the body are together. Then you just do a scan. Let's do a natural scan. Okay. This is something which develops quite naturally. And for some of you may have been touching and after that you feel a sense already. Then when you are scanning, the process becomes slower and slower and slower and slower. So relaxation body scan has two aspects. One is a physical touch, one is a mental scan. One is becoming, so the practice becomes more and more subtle, the practice becomes more and more refined. Okay? To the extent, the relaxation body scan will develop into something quite naturally. You reach another destination. Okay, you reach another dining house. And what is that practice called? It's called just sitting. Just sitting. So today you practice just sitting. Just sitting. Just sitting is actually an extension of the last part of relaxation body scan. What is the last part? Relax your body, relax your mind. When you relax your body, you relax your mind, actually you are just sitting. Is that clear? So that is aspect. So in fact, every part, when we are doing the scanning, is in accordance or resonates to just sitting. In a way, indirectly, we are practicing just sitting. Okay. So second by second. Okay, so 1 second, actually we are having a sense of awareness here, we are also doing just sitting. Second round, 2 seconds, third round, 3 seconds, 4 seconds. Okay, so finally, relax your entire body, relax your mind, relax your body and your mind. Then you feel like, suddenly you just stop there. You just sit with that awareness. Okay, so when that happens, quite naturally, the body and mind become totally still, settled, calm, connected, and aware. Then this is the practice of just sitting. Okay, so then you stay there. And in just sitting, there are a few things. First, know that you are sitting. Must know. So this is something which is concept. Second, feel your body sitting. So how do you feel? So very often we know, but it's an intellectual concept our mind may wonder also. In this case, bring the mind and the body together. How do you bring the mind and the body together? Feel your body sitting. Okay, so the body and mind will be together. Okay, so you draw your awareness back, you stick together. So know that you are sitting. Feel your body sitting. Okay, so feel your body sitting. So body and mind sitting. Sitting and relax. Sometimes we are sitting, we will not be relaxed. So sitting and then you relax. Then you become more grounded, more settled. And then relax and sitting. The 4 sentences, very important. Okay, just like in China, traditionally when you learn martial arts, they give you certain verses or like certain mantras. Okay, so for just sitting, first know that you are sitting. Feel your body sitting. Sitting and relax, relax and sitting. Because sometimes you relax so much that you go into a state of downness, sleepiness and drowsiness. So you have to relax and sitting. So it brings your mind to that wakeful state. But sometimes we become too wakeful, then we engage in wandering and scattered thoughts. So sitting and relax. Relax and sitting. Okay, understand what I'm saying? Okay, so you just sit there. However, if your mind, if your awareness power is not strong, after all, what happens? The mind becomes scattered. Because the scope of the body is quite big for some people. Then what do? Go back to relaxation body scan. Okay? So this is the practice for today. The relaxation body scan. Touching, you have been touching for 1 day already, so you have a better sense. Then now you do a mental scan. So you are doing mental scan, you can feel, and then you just let yourself settle. And this is like dropping a pebble. Dropping a pebble. Have you ever had that experience before? we may have an aquarium, aquarium at home. Have aquarium, a big aquarium. Not a tiny one, but a big one. Or maybe like a lake, a very deep lake. You take a pebble. Have you set up aquarium before? No, I used to rear fishes. I like fishes. But the thing about fish is a bit difficult. Why? Because they're always eating. So you don't know whether are they really hungry or are they have too much food. So after that I gave up keeping fishes, especially goldfish. Goldfish always eat non-stop. To the extent when I was younger, I keep feeding them until they become so bloated that they die. So then I cried. And now I'm going to goldfish anymore. Because they always want to eat and they cannot stop. So it's quite confused. You don't know whether they have enough food. And sometimes you don't want to let them starve, but they cannot stop eating. So I gave up keeping fishes. Well, I had this experience when I was young, I was keeping the fishes. So you want to set up aquarium, right? You have to put some pebbles to level the aquarium. So I had fun. Usually adults, my dad and mom will just pour everything down there. But this is not fun. So how do I do that? I take one pebble, then I drop. Then I see the pebble going down. 2 pebbles. You know what I'm talking about? You see that pebble dropping, slowly settling and sinking into the water. And finally coming to a rest, and still at the bottom. Okay, go back and drop pebbles. Then you have a sense. And I'm looking at the fish tank. Drop. Yeah. Not rocks, don't drop rocks. Rocks will splash. Pebbles. Okay. So the mind is like that. Sitting and relax. So this relaxation body scan is actually a settling. Okay, you're coming down. So this is the sense. You get the sense of it? So you just sit. So the pebble just sit at the bottom of the aquarium. Just sit. You just sit. There's wandering and scattered thoughts. Come back to the body. Relax the body, relax the mind. Feel your posture, the whole body sitting. And then relax into that sitting. If you are too relaxed, the mind wanders off to sleep. Then come back to the body again. So sitting and relax. Canadian, counter. Counter what? Counter scatteredness and wandering thoughts. Okay? Relax and sitting to counter drowsiness and sleepiness. Okay? So know that you are sitting. Can you repeat after me? Know that you are sitting. Feel the body sitting.
Feel the body sitting.
Sitting and relax.
Sitting and relax.
Relax and sitting.
Relax and sitting.
This is called just sitting. You can apply that when you're walking, just walking. You can apply that when you're eating, just eating. You can apply that when you're exercising, just exercising. You can apply that when you're painting, just painting. You can apply that when you're driving, just driving. Okay? So then practice become what? A whole. And then you can integrate that into your daily life. Okay? So do that. This is very important. Relaxation body scan is very important because that is where the body and the mind come together. It is very important in the way I teach. This is very important. Don't rush. Relaxation body scan that goes on to just sitting is very important because it brings us to a state of stillness. Okay, stillness and settleness. Because just sitting is actually a very important entry point of practice. A very important entry point of practice. Just like entering the gate. It's entering the Chan gate. Now you guys are just touching the gate. You touch the gate, you cannot find where is the what? The what do you call it? The latch. Just sitting is where you touch the gate, you found the latch, then you're about to enter. It is a more refined and very subtle practice. After you will be able to accomplish just sitting, you actually go on to another new thing. Okay, so entering the Chan gate, just sitting. And in Japan they call it shikantaza. Okay, just sitting. Okay, this is very important. And some of you may think that this is silent illumination Moza. Sorry. I teach Moza and silent illumination at level 7 and 8. This is level 2. Some people want to ask Huatou. When can I learn Huatou? Yes, Huatou at level 7 and 8. So we are still at level 2. Okay, still somewhere to go. You just enter the gate. You have not even entered the door. You're only at the gate, the gate, the gate. Yeah, the gate of the property. You have not entered the house of Chan yet. You enter the gate of Chan. Then you need to enter the main door of Chan. Then you come into the living room of the house. After that, you have to enter the room. Then you come to see the teacher. Okay. Take it easy. Okay. Take it easy. Okay. Just practice. Okay. Returning, relax. Returning and relax. Okay. If you feel uncomfortable, breathe in and breathe out. Relax the muscles. It's important to work the body. It's always like that. The body and the mind come together first. Connect. Okay? Now, and the practice is something. First, the body and the mind has to become one. Then the body and the environment. Body and mind become one, which is the self. Then the self and the environment become one. Okay, so a unification of body and mind, after that will be, we are not achieving unification yet, but we are in resonance, in accordance to the state of unification. This is only asking you to come together. Haven't become one yet, it's only coming together. Okay, so the practice is always like that. Unification of body and mind, then unification of space, inside and outside become one, then unification of time. So time and space, body and mind will all come together. Okay. We still have quite a bit of journey to go. But don't worry about getting there. The destination is not important. The journey. Okay. The walking. That is most important. Okay. So that's all for this morning.